so I am just going to show you today some ways to use our new spine die that came out with our album, and it cuts a piece like this, and some of you may be wondering how you can use it. So I'm just going to show you a few ways that I envisaged it to be used, and I'm actually loving it. It's working just how I thought it might. So this one's the first one. So I've just cut out some letters out of our big lettering that we've got and glued it just on the base, and doesn't need anything necessarily on the back. It's just a flip over part for your album, and that is dividing my months. So that's one way. This is another page that I have done for the Seize the Day and Mind Over Matter collections. I've mixed and matched them because they both go together. So that's one page. It's another one using the same stuff, and thankfully it goes very nicely with this is Summer Holiday that came out in January, and they go well together. So that is the Summer Holiday vellum and the Mind Over Matter little embellishments and bits and pieces, and a cake I made for Ashley with some scrapbooking on top. It was very pretty, so I thought I'd include it in my book. That is one of the page protectors that we have with the 3x4s, and I've just included some stuff in there. It's not quite finished yet, but it's all just being held down with the whoop, that one's quite secure. So excuse the glare on there, but so this is another way to use the spine die. So I've just cut it out with some acetate, and that is no easy feat to do that. You can do it, but the die sort of just wants to press into it rather than cut it, and it may depend on the quality of your plates in your Big Shot. But I just rolled it through back and forwards about 5 times, and it cut enough that I could get scissors in and just snip the areas that didn't cut, and it cuts quite smoothly. It's not like it doesn't work, you just have to be persistent, but it is quite lovely to have just a word just attached just a little on there. But I've just got my little turn on there where the cutter parts have 2 little snails that are reversed, and so that sits nicely sandwiched between it, and it's my little turn. Here is another one. So I have just put in a circle piece of paper, and all I've done is lined it up against the edge of the circles that are the holes that are cut in, and sandwiched it with another piece on the other side. So that means that you can have a piece in there that just sits nicely. It's just an interactive page that looks quite nice together. I haven't finished this yet, but so that's another way of using the spine die. And then I've just got 2 of the creative cuts that match, and they sort of go with my topic there, so I used those. Here's another way. I've just printed out a 6x4 photo, and I just trimmed it down to match my spine, and then I've got the reverse of the story on the other side, just with some pattern paper. So, you know, in that way you can put whatever you would like into your album without having to put holes in the actual product. You can just put holes in your photos by all means, but that's just another way of doing it. And you can position it wherever you want in there. You just cut off the holes that you don't need. It's another page with the Seize the Day collection. This is Mind Over Matter and Seize the Day together. Here's another version of just attaching a photo. This is a landscape 6x4 this time. And here's a different one that I haven't used yet, but it's I've glued it on there, but it's a slimline card. So when that's in there, it just opens flat like that, and the spine just sits in there like this. And that's another way of using the spine die. And I've got another one here too that I was quite excited about. I haven't used this one yet either, but this one is a slimline. I used the card and there's the envelope. So all I've done is, again, I've just lined up my paper along the edge of the lines of the holes and then glued it in. And for this one I could just cut out I just traced it over there and just trimmed off the edge. I actually just slid this zigzag piece inside my envelope, how deep I wanted it to go, and traced the inside of the profile of the card, of the envelope there, and that worked quite easy. I just pulled it out and glued it on the outside. I did go around some of these things, I've gone around with a sewing machine just to add a little bit of dimension. It's not necessary, but it's cute. This one is one of our slimline dies that I've just cut out here, and it's the lacy edged one. I've lined it up with the manufacturer's strip that I tend to put patterns on just because I like using all the bits of the paper. So I've just laid it on the edge of there and it's cut off the design but straight along the edge of the manufacturer's strip. And I've done the same with the other side. And so that just opens like normal. Glued another piece on the inside, just leaving a little bit of a edge around it just to make it look good, and it's just waiting photos. This is another one that's not finished yet. I would have kept going if I had more time, but my blog post is due for the 29th and it's already the 28th, so I'm working against the clock here. But this one is another slimline die that cuts out windows, and what I will do is position photos in those frames and glue a piece that is the entire size of this slimline die cut there, and sandwich the photos between it so that they'll show through the frame. And then this side will just be a flat side to scrap on. So that is pretty much the ideas that I've had so far for using the spine die, which I was very excited for, and I hope you find some uses for it in your own albums.